Okay, have you ever felt like you've just hit a wall with your flexibility? You stretch and stretch, but the gains, they just don't seem to last. Well, what if I told you the real secret to unlocking permanent flexibility isn't about your muscles at all, but about your nervous system? We're going to dive into a method that works with your body's own instincts to create flexibility that actually finally sticks.
You know the drill, right? For so many of us, we spend all this time holding these painful stretches, hoping for some kind of breakthrough. But the next day, we're right back where we started, just as tight as before. It is such a frustrating cycle, and it can really make you feel like, hey, maybe I'm just not built to be flexible.
But here's the big twist. It's not your muscles. You're not fighting against muscles that are too short or anything like that. The real reason you feel tight is because you're actually in a little tug of war with your own nervous system. So, this gets us right into a huge myth about flexibility. We have to stop thinking of our bodies like they're just, a piece of clay we have to force into shape. Instead, think of your body as this incredibly intelligent system that has its own personal bodyguard. So right here, we see the big difference. The myth is that your muscles are too short. But the truth? The truth is that your nerves are just being protective. That tightness you feel, that's a signal. Your nervous system is actively and purposefully limiting your range of motion. But why would it do that?
Well, the logic behind it is actually pretty brilliant. See, when your muscles get into a really deep stretch, they're in a much weaker, more vulnerable position. Your nervous system feels that instability, and it sees it as a major injury risk. So, to keep you safe, it slams on the brakes and says, nope, we're not going any further. That tightness, that's just your bodyguard doing its job.
So if we want to get more flexible, we can't just try to brute force our way past that bodyguard. It's not going to work. We need to learn its language. We have to convince it that going deeper is actually safe. And that, my friends, is where a method called PNF comes in. It is, for all intents and purposes, a hack for your nervous system.
Okay, PNF stands for Proprioceptive Neuromuscular Facilitation. I know, it is a mouthful, but the idea behind it is beautifully simple. Instead of just passively hanging out in a stretch, PNF has you actively contracting your muscles, building strength while you're in that stretch position. This sends a powerful signal to your nervous system that says, hey, I'm strong here, I'm in control, this is safe.
And yeah, this quote right here, it just nails it. This is the entire concept in one sentence. Once your nervous system feels that you're strong and stable in that new, deeper range, it goes, oh, okay, I get it. This position is safe now, and it willingly lets go of the brakes.
So this all sounds pretty cool in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? Well, it all boils down to a really simple 3-step cycle. You stretch, you contract against that stretch, and then you relax deeper into it.
Let's take a classic standing forward fold. First, you're going to bend forward just until you feel that nice, moderate stretch in your hamstrings. Grab onto your legs to hold yourself there. Now, for the magic part. Try to stand back up. Tense your hamstrings, but use your hands to hold yourself in place. You're creating resistance. Hold that for a few seconds, and then just let it all go. Relax, exhale, and you'll be amazed at how much deeper you can sink into the stretch.
And you know what the best part is? You don't need any fancy equipment for this. Like we just saw, you can use your own body to create that resistance. Or you can use something even simpler, the floor. Let's look at the frog split. Here, once you're in the stretch, the floor is doing all the work for you. All you have to do is contract your leg muscles by trying to squeeze your knees inward, like you're trying to push them into the ground. Hold that squeeze for a few seconds, then relax, and you'll feel your body open up even more. It's the same exact principle, just applied in a different way.
All right. So you've got the technique down. Now, how do we turn this into a real habit? How do we build that deep, lasting flexibility that we've been talking about this whole time? Here's your game plan, and it's pretty simple. First, pick the muscles you want to work on. Then, for each one, you're going to aim for about 10 reps of that stretch, contract, relax cycle. Try to hold each contraction for about 5 seconds. You can tack this on to the end of your workouts or do it in its own session. And of course, over time, you'll start doing this in deeper and deeper positions.
Okay, and this last part is absolutely crucial. Gaining flexibility is one thing, but making it useful is the real goal. You have to use your new range of motion. You got to practice those kicks, those dance moves, whatever it is you do. That's how you teach your body to really own that newfound flexibility and make it truly functional.
Now look, this isn't some overnight miracle cure, but it is impressively fast. You're probably going to see some really nice initial gains in just a few weeks. For that really deep, significant flexibility, you're looking at a few months of consistent work. The key word there is consistent.
And this, right here, is the ultimate payoff. This isn't like that old school stretching where you lose all your progress the very next day. Because you are fundamentally changing how your nervous system sees your flexibility, the results are incredibly durable.
No, seriously. Once you build this kind of flexibility, it is really hard to lose it. Your nervous system has learned that this new range is safe and accessible. And hey, even if you take a long rate and you get a little tight, you can get it all back so much faster because you've already built those neural pathways.
So there you have it. That's the secret. Stop fighting a battle against your muscles and start having a conversation with your nervous system. Build strength where you want to be flexible. Now that you know how it's done, the only question left is, what are you going to do with it? How will you use your new permanent flexibility?